Basketball fans, welcome to the Nderitu Basketball YouTube channel, your one-stop shop for everything about the NBA. NBA free agency is a very important time for the NBA. So this is a time where teams decide on two things. Either they are rebuilding or they are contending. For teams that are rebuilding and they're looking towards moving in a different direction, they go ahead and decide to let the best players go and focus on the core group of players that they want. And we have seen majority of the time the teams that go in the rebuilding direction, they get rid of the players who are given max contracts or near max contracts, and they make space for players who are coming in from the draft. And in the NBA draft, we have seen some good prospects coming in, and teams decide on whether to keep these assets or rebuild around them or have them complement the core that they already have. Then for the contenders, they decide to go all in and see if they can get the best players available to go ahead and compete for a title. And in this video, I'll be looking at the 5 best and 5 worst moves that have been made in free agency. And my God, my Lakers have are very much underwhelmed, and it's due to the fact that LeBron James signed that huge. He opted into that final year of his deal, which was 52.6 million, and the Lakers have been pushed all the way to the second apron, and they are handicapped, and they can't be able to sign quality role players moving forward to build around Luka Doncic. And it's sad because this is the only time I've seen LeBron James opting into the final year of his deal. Majority of the times he opts out and he signs a new deal. But in this case, because he's up there in age, I know he's experienced, he has a lot he has done and accomplished in the NBA. But 52.6 million is a lot of money to walk away from. And yeah, it's a tough one for my Lakers. But to begin with, I'm going to talk about Kevin Durant's move to the Houston Rockets as one of the best signings. So the Houston Rockets, they have been on the up and up in the previous seasons. And in the previous season that came to a close, although they got knocked out in the first round, they were able to clinch the second seed in the tough Western Conference. And the only team that was ahead of them was OKC. But looking at how the Houston Rockets were able to get to that point, looking at how they were able to, not too long ago, they were able to get rid of Russell Westbrook, James Harden, they were able to draft Jalen Green in the second pick and try to rebuild around that. They signed free agents in Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, and they were able to go ahead and even get Ime Udoka at the time. There was something that they were building at that. And it yielded the second seed. And given the fact that they were a second seed, there was a high likelihood that they were going to at least make it past the first round, make it to the second round. It was a second round team at best. I didn't see this team going all in and going all the way. As much as they were a second seed, I didn't see them going in and dominating in the playoffs like that. And they got knocked out by Golden State in 7 games. They put up a good fight, but Jalen Green kind of underwhelmed with that. So Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, they were utilized in the trade that brought the Rockets Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant has put them in a position where they are going all in for a title. I think this is a win now move. And given the fact that KD is there, it changes the whole expectation of this organization, because majority of the time when a team has KD, it's championship or bust. We saw this when it was with OKC, but with OKC, he was not able to win a championship with them. Then with the Golden State Warriors, when he made that decision in 2016, KD was able to push the Golden State Warriors above LeBron James and the Cavs. They were able to win 2 out of the 3 championships with KD. So Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets, it's a championship or bust move, and this might be their last. It can be the last chance KD has at winning a title. We have seen he has had very underwhelming stints. Kevin Durant, he tried to go to Brooklyn and form a dominant duo with Kyrie. They work. James Harden got brought in. That core of group of guys did not work. Injuries were the order of the day, and it kind of stifled their progression, and it led to that big three getting broken up. at the trade deadline, and subsequently KD found himself with the Phoenix Suns, and there was another big three that formed there with Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and himself, and it did work. And he's getting up there in age. So with this change, the Houston Rockets, it's gonna be a tough one, and this might be the last time we're going to see KD try to contend for a championship. And he has completed his own rainbow, so it's good. But all in all, do you actually believe KD can be able to push the Houston Rockets all the way to the NBA Finals, similar to what we have seen Shai Gilgeous-Alexander push the OKC Thunder to the championship? I mean, there's a lot that goes in, especially when it comes down to winning a title and getting somebody who's experienced and is a veteran who knows what he is supposed to do in there is very important. And I feel like the Houston Rockets went ahead and made that decision. It's a tough decision considering the fact that KD is 36 years of age, but still KD, he averaged 27 points on 52% shooting from the field. So he's not somebody who's gonna come in as a liability, and he's a certified bucket getter. So yeah, the Houston Rockets, they headline this one, and this is the best signing that the Houston Rockets have made. And also bringing back Clint Capella on a full circle move. So hopefully the Houston Rockets can be able to make it to the West Finals if they can. Then Alexander Walker to the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks have had one of the most underrated off seasons this postseason. In this off season, I don't know how you say postseason. This off season has been great for the Atlanta Hawks. They're able to get a good deal, especially when it came to trading for Kristaps Porzingis. They're able to fix their front court and also offloading Clint Capella. That was something that needed to happen. And right now you're seeing Nikhil Alexander, and now Nikhil Alexander Walker is there with the Atlanta Hawks, and he adds two-way versatility and depth. And he was acquired in a 4-year, $62 million sign and trade from Minnesota, and he's being put there to see if he can be able to help Trae Young and Kristaps Porzingis contend in the East, because right now the East is wide open. For the Boston Celtics, no Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown is not at 100. Tyrese Halliburton for the Pacers is out. Miles Turner, he signed a deal with the Bucks, so the East is somewhat open, and there's a lot that the Atlanta Hawks can do right now. And Nikhil Alexander Walker provides solid production. His 9.4 points per game shooting from deep is very important. He can defend wings, space the floor, and handle late shot clock situations. And he's a very good complementary piece for Kristaps Porzingis and Trae Young. Then you've got Bruce Brown back to the Denver Nuggets. So Bruce Brown, he won the title with the Denver Nuggets in 2023, and he's been bounced around the league, and right now he finds himself back with the Denver Nuggets. So Bruce Brown, he brings back a playoff proven chemistry and a continuity at a low cost. And he signed a vet minimum deal of $3.63 million. So to the vet minimum exception from the Denver Nuggets. So they didn't have to go above their budget or even go into the luxury tax for his signing. And his mix of playmaking, athletic defense, and grit was vital for that 2023 championship. And hopefully the Denver Nuggets are looking towards, can we be able to utilize this guy to help us go back to where we were? So Bruce Brown to the Denver Nuggets, that's a huge win. Then the Boston Celtics, trading Drew Holiday for Anthony Simons. I mean, when I saw this move, it came as a shocker, but I understood why the Boston Celtics did this move. So the Celtics are looking towards saving up on their luxury tax situation, because they have a very huge payroll and they don't have enough money to be able to go around and pay the luxury tax for it, especially if they're not contending. Jason Tatum he's down. He's not gonna be there in this whole coming season, and also Jaylen Brown, he played through an injury, so the Boston Celtics are not looking to compete. So what can they do to be able to cut salary and also get something good in return? So Anthony Simons is the answer, and this is a strategic uh, roster management coming from the Celtics for cap flexibility, draft assets, and a high upside scorer in Anthony Simons. So trading away Drew Holiday, who's 35 years of age, is a high cost for 26-year-old Anthony Simons on an expiring 27.7 million. It's something that the Celtics needed to do so that they can get around saving some cash. And in this move, they save around $40 million in luxury taxes and relieves the $72 million in future salary that they will have had to pay. So while gaining a much needed scoring punch to help the Celtics with Jason Taylor being out, somebody who's a young guy, a young swingman, very important and a very important signing for the Boston Celtics. I know this has not been the best offseason for the Celtics, trading away Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday, some of the key vital pieces that led to the Celtics winning the 2024 NBA title. But it needed to happen because if the Celtics did not make this move, they would be paying a higher, hefty luxury tax. They'll have a lot of salary in their books, and they're not competing. So yeah, that's something that needed to happen. Then we have Jordan Clarkson to the New York Knicks. Uh, the Utah Jazz decided to move away from Jordan Clarkson because they needed to make some space for Ace Bailey. And Jordan Clarkson, he fortifies the bench with a proven scoring option alongside Jalen Brunson in there. And Jordan Clarkson, he joined on a vet minimum deal after a buyout with the Utah Jazz. And he's a reliable scorer. He's scored 16 points per game off the bench without impacting the salary cap significantly. He enhances the bench depth and offensive flexibility for the New York Knicks. So it's very important that the Knicks find a way to get over the hump. They were not able to dominate in these East finals, and they're looking towards at least can we be able to go ahead and compete for a title. So that is the most important thing for the New York Knicks because they had a very good postseason. They went ahead and did their thing. The first round went ahead toe to toe with the Boston Celtics. Even with Jason Tatum getting injured, they still went ahead and won the series. And the Pacers were standing in their way, and they went ahead and did their thing. The Pacers did their thing, and the Pacers managed to make it to the NBA Finals. So the New York Knicks right now is a championship or bust situation. And given the fact that the East is wide open, my best thing and my best take might be the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks are trying to see who can be able to make it and break through to the East Finals because the two teams that appear to be those teams that could make it to the NBA Finals, that's the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers. They're struggling with injuries, and the New York Knicks can be able to break through on this one, or the Atlanta Hawks. So I mean, those are your winners. Now, on to the worst signings we have seen in the NBA free agency period. And to start off, I'm going to start off with the Milwaukee Bucks. So the Milwaukee Bucks made that decision to waive Damian Lillard. That meant they stretched out his contract. He was owed 113 million by the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Milwaukee Bucks decided to stretch his contract for 5 years. So every single year, he's going to receive 22.5 million, not to play for the Milwaukee Bucks. And with this move, the Milwaukee Bucks were able to secure cap space to be able to bring in Miles Turner from the Indiana Pacers. So this move is a head scratcher because it's only 2 years we have seen Damian Lillard before they play for the Milwaukee Bucks. And also, given the fact that Damian Lillard, he tore his Achilles during the playoffs in the first round against the Indiana Pacers, it was very difficult to see the Bucks make this move because the question would remain, were the Bucks going to wait for Damian Lillard to heal so that they can uh, go ahead and contend for a title with him because they still had him under the book on the books, and they didn't want to make a very funny situation with Giannis because Giannis really grew fond of Damian Lillard. And when Giannis found out that the Milwaukee Bucks waived Damian Lillard, he reportedly got very upset with the front office and subsequently you're going to see the ripple effects. Maybe Giannis is not going to go ahead and sign an extension with the Milwaukee Bucks given this move. But all in all, it's a very tough decision that the front office had to make, and they didn't want to have any conflict of interest because it was business at the end of the day. They have not been able to do anything significant since 2021 after winning the championship, either a second round exit and three consecutive first round exits. So the move to get Damian Lillard in 2023 was important because they thought that maybe they can be able to go ahead and contend for a title, but it hasn't panned out. And they're looking at that decision. They took in a lot of salary and they have been paying a hefty luxury tax for their contention, and it's not working. So the Bucks decided to go in a different direction with signing Miles Turner on a 4-year, $107 million contract. And Damian Lillard is no scrub because he averaged 25 points and 7.1 assists. So he was very great for the Milwaukee Bucks, and he was very good for the Milwaukee Bucks. Then we have my Los Angeles Lakers. So the Los Angeles Lakers are opted in for Jake LaRavia. So this suggests a lack of ambition and a wasted cap space on an unproven project. So the Lakers decide to sign Jake LaRavia on a 2-year, $12 million contract. That's a 5.16 million cap hit in the 2025-2026 season. So this is another head scratching move. So LaRavia is unproven, and this investment in developmental upside over established contributors is questionable on a veteran heavy team, a team that is looking to go all in for a title. So I don't know what the Lakers are trying to do right now. I mean, it's been a tough off season, especially with LeBron James opting into that massive 52.6 million, which has significantly hamstringed them, and they have not been able to do anything significant there. So it's a tough decision for the Lakers. And also, the Lakers decided to settle for DeAndre Ayton. Don't get me wrong. DeAndre Ayton is no scrub because he averaged 14 points per game and 10 rebounds per game. But he has not been able to be great for the Portland Trailblazers, and the Portland Trailblazers decided to buy him out of his last year of his contract. And he has not been a player that has shown any motor because he has deficiency in defensive in defense, and he's not a player that has a good motor. And that's the reason as to why when DeAndre Ayton was with the Phoenix Suns, he had some issues with coach Monty Williams, and Monty Williams was asking him, why can't you show some effort, especially when it comes on defense, and also show some progression when it comes to offense. His footwork is off, and this is going to be a tough one because the Lakers are a big market, and every single player that plays for the Lakers is broadcasted to a very huge audience. And if you're a flawed player and you're not able to play in the bright lights of Los Angeles, you're going to get marked out easily. And we saw this situation happen to Russell Westbrook when Lakers games were being televised to the point where every single time he had a very bad play, it used to be replayed over and over again to the point where even his name was getting, he was getting abused, and it was very tough to play for in that situation. So I'm not sure how DeAndre Ayton is going to fare because analysts have come out and said this might be the last chance where DeAndre Ayton is able to redeem his career. And he's looking forward to this because he is excited to be paired with fellow draft mate in Luka Doncic. And Luka Doncic has gone down as one of the best young players in the league. At 25 years of age, the man is a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. He has achieved a lot. And DeAndre Ayton was supposed to be a guy who is going to dominate in the front court and be the next generation of front court players who are going to dominate the league. But he has not been able to pan out well, and issues about his consistency and his ability to be a good player both on offense and defense is the deciding factor that will make him stay in the league or get waived. So he signed a 2-year, $16.6 million deal with a player option. after being bought out. But this is still a head scratcher because the Lakers, because of LeBron James, yet again, they were not able to get a quality center because their cap space, they're in the second apron, they are hamstringed and they can't do anything. So I mean, it's a very tough situation as a Laker fan, and I'm not sure where the Lakers can go from here, or we can go from here. Then you have the Milwaukee Bucks, giving Kevin Porter Jr. a 2-year deal. So a risky situation due to inconsistency and off-court concerns. So Kevin Porter Jr. through the years has been followed by a lot of controversy, and the Milwaukee Bucks decided to sign Porter Jr. to a 2-year, $11 billion deal using the biannual exception. So this is a bad move. And while providing youthful scoring, committing multi-year mid-level money to a player with a history of off-court issues is seen less as wise. And instead of opting for somebody who is more experienced and can be a proven backup guard, especially with trading away a guy like Damian Lillard, or even not even trading away, but they bought out Damian Lillard. Instead of getting somebody who can be a reliable person at the backcourt. They waived Damian Lillard. It's a tough situation. And in the Milwaukee Bucks, with this move, I'm not too confident with them. So I don't know what Milwaukee is doing. I don't know if they're having a twin towers at the front court with Giannis and Miles Turner is what they're going to use throughout the season, but not having a quality point guard at the backcourt is a major weakness. And committing to Kevin Porter Jr. in this 2-year, $11 million deal, using their biannual exception, this is an exception that you can only use once in every 2 years. So if this one misses, they are going to they're going to struggle. Then we have the San Antonio Spurs, last but not least. So they overpaid for Luke Cornett. So a surprisingly substantial investment for a backup center on a developing team. So the Spurs have Victor Wembanyama in there, and the Spurs decided to give Luke Cornett a 4-year, $41 million contract. By all means, this is a team friendly contract, but they overpaid on this one. And the biggest downside of this is when the Spurs decide to trade away Luke Cornett, I'm not sure if they're going to get any suitors to be able to get any other team to absorb this contract, because Luke Cornett's production has been mid. 6 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 1 block per game. This does not justify such a hefty contract, especially for a team focused on developing young talent behind Victor Wembanyama. This move makes no sense. And those are the best and worst signings. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section down below on what you think about these best and worst signings. I'll come back with more videos of this nature, so stay tuned to that. And I'm out. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.